Are you American who love to travel? Maybe there is some things you need to consider before you hit the road. Your government like to travel around the world also, but with slightly worse intentions than you. That is why not every destination welcomes American travelers with open arms. Whether due to historical events, political tensions, or cultural differences, some countries harbor unfavorable sentiments toward Americans. Here is a curated list of 12 countries where American visitors might find themselves less than welcome. Don't forget to click that subscribe button to join the ship going around the world and exposing the most mind-blowing details about our amazing Earth. Number 1. Russia. With its rich history, vast landscapes, and enigmatic culture, Russia remains a land of intrigue. However, for American travelers, the journey here is not without challenges. The long-standing rivalry between the US and Russia dates back to the Cold War era. While tensions eased over the years, recent events such as disagreements over Ukraine have reignited animosity. According to a survey, 72% of Russians harbor an unfavorable opinion of Americans. Obtaining a Russian visa can be akin to solving a labyrinth. Extensive paperwork, bureaucratic hurdles, and patience are prerequisites. American tourists have occasionally faced harassment and detention by Russian authorities. Number 2. North Korea. American tourists are not welcome in North Korea. Traveling to this country involves significant risks and restrictions. North Korea is a nation known for its strict regime, isolation, and limited openness to the outside world. Travel arrangements must be made through authorized tour operators permitted to conduct tours within the country. According to the U.S. Department of State, all U.S. passports are invalid for travel to, in, or through North Korea, unless specially validated under the authority of the Secretary of State. Such validations are granted only in minimal circumstances. Number 3. Iran. With its ancient history, architectural marvels, and breathtaking landscapes, Iran beckons travelers seeking a glimpse into a rich tapestry of culture. However, the journey to Iran is fraught with challenges and complexities for American citizens. Obtaining a visa involves meticulous planning, as Americans cannot receive a visa on arrival. Instead, they must apply through an Iranian travel agency, which takes 2 to 3 months. Once in Iran, travelers must be accompanied by a guide, and solo exploration is not permitted. The risk of wrongful detentions and limited consular services further adds to the intricacies of visiting this enigmatic nation. Number 4. Iraq. American tourists are not welcome in Iraq due to security risks, historical tensions, and ongoing conflicts. The relationship between the United States and Iraq has been strained due to historical events, including the Iraq War. The U.S. State Department explicitly advises against travel to Iraq for safety reasons. Kidnappings are a serious concern in Iraq. The U.S. Embassy in Baghdad has limited capacity to provide support to American citizens in Iraq. Number 5. Afghanistan. This Asian country has been in a bad state since the late 1970s, when the Saur Revolution overthrew President Mohammad Daoud Khan to establish a socialist republic. Ever since, Afghanistan has been embroiled in what is called the Afghan conflict, indicating near continuous violence for over 40 years. Travel to Afghanistan is strictly advised against, with an extremely high chance for Western visitors to be kidnapped or injured. Terrorist attacks and hostage-taking are a common occurrence, and there is no formal tourism industry in place. Furthermore, the U.S. Embassy in Kabul closed in 2021, resulting in an increased frequency of unlawful detentions. Number 6. Sudan. Ranked 172nd on the Human Development Index, Sudan is one of the least developed countries in the entire world. It currently faces large degrees of poverty, political instability, and fractional violence. And like Myanmar and Yemen before it, Sudan is currently under a strict do not travel advisory. Armed conflicts and civil unrest plague the country, and areas often frequented by Westerners are often the targets of terrorist attacks. Furthermore, Westerners and aid workers are often the victims of targeted crimes like assault, kidnappings, and armed robberies. Even the rural areas outside of urban centers are populated with hidden explosives, making travel inside the country incredibly dangerous and ill-advised. Number 7. Lebanon. Lebanon has a rich history and vibrant culture, but traveling to this country, unfortunately, presents challenges for Americans. Political tensions stemming from years of instability and conflicts have strained relations. Additionally, U.S. aid conditions imposed since 2007 have led to unfavorable perceptions among 57% of the population. Caught in regional dynamics between Iran and Saudi Arabia, Lebanon's economic crisis and security concerns further contribute to an environment where Americans may not always feel welcome. Number 8. Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia, a nation with a rich cultural heritage and significant historical sites, has gradually opened its doors to tourism. However, for American visitors, several challenges persist. Women must adhere to strict dress codes, covering their bodies modestly. Additionally, gender segregation is prevalent in public spaces, affecting interactions between men and women. Saudi Arabia strictly prohibits the consumption of alcohol. Visitors should be aware that alcohol is not available in public places, and bringing it into the country is forbidden. While the government has tried to enhance tourism infrastructure, security risks remain. Number 9. Turkmenistan. Turkmenistan's restrictive policies, human rights challenges, and lack of transparency create an environment where Americans may feel unwelcome and face significant hurdles. U.S. visitors to Turkmenistan must obtain a government-sanctioned letter of invitation. This Central Asian nation's human rights record is dire. Issues include restrictions on free expression, harsh prison conditions, and lack of accountability for officials' abuses. Number 10. Syria. Syria, a land steeped in history and turmoil, presents unique challenges for American travelers. For years, a historical ban made obtaining a Syrian tourist visa impossible for Americans. Although the ban has since been lifted, the U.S. government remains cautious. Syria grapples with internal strife, cartel activity, and corruption, making it an unstable environment for visitors. Kidnappings and illegal detention specifically target U.S. citizens, and the widespread violence further elevates the risk of harm. The U.S. Embassy in Damascus has been dormant since 2012, leaving limited emergency services for Americans. Number 11. Venezuela. Venezuela, a nation of contrasts, beckons tourists with its vibrant culture and diverse landscapes. Yet, this journey is fraught with challenges and risks for American travelers. Political instability, corruption, and limited civil liberties define the landscape. Under President Nicolas Maduro, Venezuela has become an authoritarian state, marked by documented human rights abuses. American citizens face significant security risks, including routine detentions by security forces, robberies, and homicides. Civil unrest, inadequate health care, and flight restrictions further complicate the experience. Number 12. Cuba. Despite a recent thaw in relations, Cuba remains a country where Americans face restrictions. The U.S. government prohibits travel to Cuba for tourism purposes. However, there are specific exceptions for educational or cultural activities. The inability of Americans to travel to Cuba for business originates from the trade embargo established in 1958. This embargo also extended to Americans who wanted to visit the country for pleasure. While official tourism is still banned, Americans can visit Cuba under 12 different categories of travel. These categories exclude pure tourism, but cover educational, cultural, and other specific purposes. As popular as Americans are globally, this is a list of countries to consider visiting, or even to avoid at all if you are one of them. Safety first. If you learned something new, show us some love and smash that subscribe button. Our other videos are waiting for you. See you in the next.